So realize I hadn't made a video on this in a while. So in today's video, we're going to break down my favorite funnels of 2026, specifically for paid ads. Now, again, the reason I preface this by saying my favorite funnels is because everybody is going to have a funnel that works best for both their industry as well as their skill set. One of my favorite quotes from all time, I want to say it was either a Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett quote. I may completely be butchering this, so I want to give credit where credit's due, whoever this is. But it was about investing. And it was a question about what should I invest in? Should it be the S&P? Should it be real estate? Should it be my business? What should I be investing in? Crypto? And the response was, this may have even been a Hormozi quote, whatever you know best. Why? Because you have an extensive degree of information asymmetry. Meaning, if I try to go from really mastering real estate and I've got a huge portfolio and I want to take my income and put it into stocks, the amount of education I now have to do on stocks becomes a lot more intensive. I'm adding a lot more friction to maybe get potentially the same return. If I'm really good at operating a business, why am I going to go get into real estate? If my business is a real estate business, then yeah, that makes a little more sense. But why am I going to try to make that transition? It doesn't make a ton of sense. Where you want to start is with what you know. Now, obviously, as you scale a portfolio, I'm not an investing guy by any means. I'm not a financial advisor. I want to make that disclaimer very clear. As you make more money, obviously you want to diversify. But in the beginning, very similar when you first launch paid ads, pick the thing you know best. If you've been running a low ticket funnel on organic, just run that on paid ads. If you've been running a call funnel on organic, run that on paid ads. The number one rule I learned from a mentor of mine, Mr. Jeremy Haynes, was you need to choose a funnel that best fits your sales team. So if you already have an offer that's converting on organic, use that in your paid ads because your sales team is going to be used to it. And that explains that investing concept I was trying to articulate. So I want to preface this entire video with that. Now, I'll explain all of the different strategies that we've used, tested, had success with, failed with. I'm not going to tell you we cracked something if we didn't. I'm going to show you all the different funnels you can run, rank them in order of what we think is best in today's day and age, and then it's up to you to go make that decision as to what the best one is for your business. Because again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you one's better than the other because it's also industry dependent. So starting off with my least favorite, follower ads, DM funnel. I consider them the same. Do these work? Yes. Do people crack a couple $100,000 a month with these? Yes. Why aren't they my favorite? Tracking is a goddamn nightmare. Excuse my French. Have fun tracking this. Also, you're at the mercy of Facebook. So if you're running DM ads and Zuck says, it's time to just put you in the ground, I want to take your account down today, good luck. Have fun spinning that up because you can't. If you rely entirely on your profile and Zuckerberg decides to take your account down, it's never going to work. So again, these do work. They are high performing. If you're more of a beginner and you have an organic audience, yeah, run it. But if you're brand new to paid ads, I just think it's a waste of effort. There are guys that teach it. There are guys that'll get you a ton of success with it. Not saying again that it doesn't work, just my personal least favorite funnel by far. How does the DM funnel and the follower ad funnel work? At its core, all you're doing is you're running an ad that tells somebody to either follow you or DM you, and then you're having a setting team DM those people, message back and forth, book them onto a calendar, boom, sales call, close. That's it. And a lot of the nurturing is done through the profile itself. So that's all it is. Very, very simple, but again, can get super chaotic because tracking's a nightmare. It's very setter heavy. The AI DM setting tools just don't really work at all. So again, that's why it's number 5 on this list. Now, number 4, this one I actually think is a really good funnel to begin with. It's just super operationally complex and not something I tell anybody to launch with. If you've run paid ads, do not launch a challenge funnel. Reason being, it is so intensive. I know a couple of guys, not super personally, but a couple of guys in some groups I'm in that are really dialed in when it comes to challenge funnels. They just sweat for 3 months getting this thing ready to go, ready to launch, and then they run it, and then you're relying on no tech issues for 3 days. The person giving the presentation's got to be dialed in, and so there's just a ton of moving parts here, all for one giant payday, which again is great, and I think eventually tacking a challenge funnel on is awesome, but it's just super complex to get right. And if you're not willing to really sweat it out, you're going to have a hard time with this specific funnel. So for that reason, I put it at number 4. Now, what is a challenge funnel? All a challenge funnel is a super long promo. I want to say somewhere between like 30 days to 45. Again, I'm no expert. I haven't personally run one myself. 30 to 45 days, then 3-day online event where you're selling 3 to 5 days, just depending on the model you run. And then it's either just direct to checkout or sales call. And you've got upsells, downsells, cross sells, your sales team's dialing people. The hardest part with this is making sure you get good lead quality before the event. So what we love to do is 6 setting teams on the leads before things like this to make sure that we know what we're getting. So anytime we consult on this, again, I don't have a ton of experience with challenge funnels, but just logically thinking, you probably want your setters to call the leads if you're promoting a month out to see if you're even getting the right people. And this is a strategy we love to use in general. It's just sick your setters on leads so you figure out what lead quality is. But number 4, I'll put it challenge funnel. Now, number 4A, I'll do in-person events. We've run a handful of these now. I personally love them as an advertiser because I don't have to deal with the setup. Similar to a challenge funnel, nightmare to get ready because you've got to have an event, a place to host the event. You got to cater. You got to somehow get these people to stay somewhere, whether you pay for their spots or they pay for it. And if they pay for it, it's added friction. Then you got to get them all in a room. You got to know how to sell from stage, so you can't be nervous on stage. Then you got to have salespeople there to take order forms. And it's like, if you can do these really well, we pulled 6 figures out of them multiple times. I love them to death, especially as an advertiser, because I just have to run ads. And then from there, it's not really on me, consult on different things with the presentation, etc. But these rip. Similar to challenge funnels though, just not as in-depth. And if you guys are curious about running an in-person event, fill out the application below. Book call to speak to myself with a member of the team. We'll kind of guide you in that direction. Because like I said, I think we've run somewhere between 3 or 5 of these now. Anywhere between 30-person events all the way up to 100-person events. We got a 120-person event coming up here in September. So these I love. Again, just super operationally complex once you add the physical component in. And it's just draining on the offer owner. So for that reason, I put them at 4A. Now, number 3, low ticket funnels. I think these can arguably be put at the number 1 spot if you are a complete savage. The reason I don't put it at number 1 is because there is a lot of moving parts with low ticket funnel. You've got to get the front end ads right. You got to get the funnel itself right. You got to get the upsells right. You got to have a good setting team. You got to have a good sales team. You got to be able to write copy because it's a lot of copy on these pages. And by the way, all a low ticket funnel is if you ever see ads for $27 products and there'll be a $197 upsell, a $297 upsell. It's just something lower ticket, cheaper that you sell to somebody. And then from there, you have them ascend into some sort of implementation call. You have them book a call on the calendar, etc. So that's what a low ticket funnel is. I love them because if you get them right, you can liquidate on average, I think it's between 50 and 70% of your ad spend. In some cases, you'll run them at 30% if you're booking enough calls and your ROAS is good on the high ticket end. But you liquidate ad spend, which is awesome. I've seen some where you're profitable, like you're booking calls for free pretty much. So those are great. But again, it's just a lot of moving parts similar to challenge funnel and in-person events. I want to limit the amount of moving parts as much as possible to make it easier on the advertiser. The less variables I have to test for, the faster I can get a good result. If I have experience doing these things, the faster I can get a good result. But what is the easiest one? I wouldn't put this at number 1. If you're a really savage marketer, I would arguably put this at number 1. Just depends on who you are, again, your sales team makeup, and your strengths as an advertiser and marketer. Now, number 2 on this list, call funnels. I love call funnels if sales team's good. If the sales team's good, a call funnel is by far the easiest funnel to run because all you're doing, VSL, headline, application, confirmation page, and then your back-end email stuff. But that's it. Call funnels are great because I'm only testing for a handful of things. So I get to the result faster, I get data back faster. The only thing I need to do is just make sure that my sales team's good. But that's it. I love call funnels. The other variation of this, because I'm assuming it's VSL, Deck sales letter. Again, this is a strategy directly from Jeremy Haynes, so I got to give credit where credit's due. These work great in the blue collar niche. There was a client we worked with for a handful of time, just didn't work out. Personally wasn't putting enough focus on the offer, so I take full ownership on that one. But the funnel that we were running at the time was a Deck sales letter. All a Deck sales letter is a VSL, but just the deck. So you can kind of click through and scroll through. Works really well with blue collar niches, and this was like a blue collar adjacent niche. So it performed pretty well. But Deck sales letters are awesome. Calls in general are awesome. You just got to have a good sales team or an offer that's extremely good to get people to go, yeah, I don't really care how good the sales team is. I want it. So call funnels right up there. One of my favorites. Super easy to run. You can typically launch them in a day. If it takes longer than a day to launch these, you got something going on. But again, I love call funnels. And then number 1, by far my favorite, is the webinar. Webinars are awesome because you get the warmest leads coming through these things. All a webinar is similar to a challenge funnel, just on a shorter timeline. 3 to 5 day promo based off how much data you have with the current ads you're running. Email, get them to show up to the live event. At the end of the live event, you either have them direct to checkout or sales call, some high ticket thing, boom. Done. Problem solved. And then you occasionally can have pop-up events or different things on the back end. I love these. These are by far my favorite. These are going to be what I push most clients to do immediately if I know the sales team is not that good. If the sales team's good, I'll typically go for call funnels first because it's just like, yeah, here's some leads, go. You tell me what you see, we'll tweak it as we go. But webinars are by far my favorite. Largely too because you're able to force consumption of pre-handling material. A lot of these don't allow for that. Meaning with a call funnel, you're kind of hoping that the prospects watch the pre-call videos. Your sales team and setting team can send them stuff, but you still don't know if they're actually consuming it. Same with low ticket. In person, you can force it challenge funnels. You can force it follower ads and DM funnel. You can't really force it similar to a call funnel. But webinars, you know that if somebody books a call, they have consumed your objection handling portion of the webinar. In most cases, maybe 5% of the leads that book a call missed it or weren't paying attention. But webinars are by far the best on those lists. I will always run them. But again, I go back to what I started this video with. These are my favorites. I'd be curious what yours are in the comments below. Think about what we talked about earlier. Your sales team should dictate the funnel that you run, and your skill set as a marketer should dictate it as well. Your job is to choose the funnel that best fits what's already working in your business or your current skill set. Because some of you guys, it might be way better for you to run an in-person event. You may do significantly better, and then you get house money to play with when you go to run ads on the next thing. Because the last concept I want to explain in this that a lot of people overlooked is all paid ads is asset allocation. All you're doing is deciding where the best places to put your money are, where the best bets to take are. That's it. That's it. And so when you start, your job is to figure out, okay, if it's in-person events, I'm going to put all my money here first so that I spit out more on the other end, and then I can take this excess capital and start testing something else. Obviously, you're going to want to scale this aggressively first, so go watch the golden rule video on my channel. But you're just going to take this and now you have house money. But you want to hedge your bets strategically because it's better you play with house money and not be emotionally tied up to the income or the money you're spending on the paid ads than launch something completely new and freak out. Horrible take. And again, if you guys are curious to learn more about having any of these funnels run for you or what it would look like taking them from organic to paid, you can book call below. There are different things that change in terms of just mechanically how the offer's presented, the VSL, all that stuff. I see people with horrible. I was auditing a fitness creator's account the other day, looked at his VSL. It was disgusting. But the guy has somewhere between 1 and 3 million followers. So of course he makes a bunch of money. You run that on paid ads, after you exhaust the audience, you're fucked. Excuse my French, but you are. Because it doesn't convert. And so again, all of these are great. Use what's working on organic with paid because you're already used to it, but make sure it's optimized for paid. And that's where, again, that link below, you can book call to speak to us about is. But other than that, guys, if you liked this video, if you want more content like this, hit that like button, drop a comment below with what you want to see next. These are, again, my favorite funnels of 2026, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. So I appreciate you. I will see you in the next one.